Now on Fast Track News, a group of faculty hold a teach-in as they join the National Day of Action for Higher Education. Straight ahead, what they are asking of other faculty at Purdue.
Plus, the university breaks ground on the new Daniels School of Business building, expected to open in 2027. It's expected to be Purdue's second largest classroom building.
And updates on the Food Finders Club and their plans to feed the hungry with this public display on campus. All your campus news, weather, and sports is straight ahead. Fast Track is back.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm Will Courtney.
And I'm Mason Shorter. It's April 18th. Here's a look at your campus news for the week. First, faculty concerned about what's happening in universities nationwide are hosting a teach-in and organizational fair. Reporter Julia Blanford explains more about their cause.
It showed the significant power of organizing at this level. Woo!
Just moments ago, the Purdue chapter of the American Association of University Professors was hosting a teach-in protesting the Trump administration right here on Memorial Mall. Even though the event was hosted by faculty, it was open to anyone that is concerned about what the AAUP describes as the crisis on education. Institutions across the country participated, ranging from public institutions like Texas A&M to private institutions like Columbia University. Neither a member of the AAUP nor a student, Rossville resident Sally McGill says that she showed up to the teach-in today to protest the deportation of international students.
Have they already deported or tried to deport some Chinese students, and the administration is not standing up for them, which is unbelievable.
At one point, the question of whether or not it is the faculty's responsibility to be vocal on current politics came up.
It was clear that the staff is torn whether they should protest or be quiet, and we are guaranteed quiet doesn't work.
Even though the weather was overcast and rainy, the teach-in still had a sizable crowd. After the initial teach-in, there was an organization fair where those who were in the original audience were invited to talk to those who spoke at the event face-to-face. Julia Blanford reporting for Fast Track News.
This teach-in is one of many happening across the United States. The group is asking other faculty to join their cause by signing an online pledge. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen for more information.
And then, Mason, it's slowly getting a little bit warmer, and for me at least, it's starting to feel a little bit like spring.
Oh, yes it has, and yes it does feel more like spring. Meteorologist Delaney Bowles is here with a first look at the forecast.
Good afternoon, Boilermakers. I'm meteorologist Delaney Bowles with your look at the campus forecast. It's warm today, 70s across the board, 71 currently right now in Tippecanoe County. And then taking a live look from the PMU, we're seeing clouds covering, and that's going to continue throughout the rest of the day, setting us up for that precipitation that we're going to see throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. Winds at around 15 to 20 miles an hour today are going to be persisting, and then wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour. So do keep that in mind along with the rain chances when you're out on your commute to class, because that is going to maybe pose some threats or some concerns for your traveling. And then a high of 77 degrees today. So that is the good news. Although we're having this rain, it is going to be warm. But don't get too comfortable because it's not going to last long. We're going to cool down as this rain moves in throughout the rest of the weekend, and I'll let you know coming up when you can expect to see the sunshine again. Stay tuned.
Purdue University held a groundbreaking ceremony on Friday for a new Mitch Daniels School of Business facility. Purdue President Meng Xiang and former Purdue President Mitch Daniels were both in attendance for the ceremony, making featured remarks about the building. Xiang mentioned how the new addition to the Daniels School of Business will help Purdue achieve excellence at scale as they advance the research of a technology-driven, free market economy. The 164,000 square foot facility will become Purdue's second largest classroom building in West Lafayette, only behind the Wilmeth Active Learning Center. Construction is expected to finish in 2027 and will give the school 3 facilities in total, along with the Cranert Building and Rawls Hall.
The American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana, also known as ACLU, filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security Tuesday, alleging the department illegally terminated several student visas. Some of the defendants named in the lawsuit are Chinese students attending Purdue. These terminations come after the government asked Purdue to disclose information on their Chinese students. The lawsuits state that these students were not given any explanation as to why their visas were terminated, and they are not allowed to contest the decision. The ACLU of Indiana alleges that the Department of Homeland Security's actions violate due process rights in the Fifth Amendment. The lawsuit also claims the Department of Homeland Security violated the Administrative Protection Act, which keeps agencies accountable for their actions when reinforcing regulations. Other defendants named in the lawsuit are Chinese students attending Indiana University and a Nigerian student attending the University of Notre Dame.
Over the weekend, Purdue's Assistant Director of Operations for Parking Facilities was arrested on a preliminary charge of driving while intoxicated. Stephen Karn, who has been an employee of Purdue since 2018, was stopped at 12:03 a.m. on Sunday at the 300th block of Brown Street in West Lafayette. Karn was transported and incarcerated at the Tippecanoe County Jail at approximately 1:22 a.m. Fast Track has reached out to the Tippecanoe Prosecutor's Office for more information, but we have not heard back as of this broadcast. After referring to online court records, it appears that no formal charges have been filed at this time.
The Food Finders Food Bank Club has officially started their Fill the Bus food drive for this year. It's the biggest food drive at Purdue. They have already had a successful start. On April 7th, donation boxes went live all across campus in academic buildings and residence halls. The event is in partnership with the ACE Campus Food Pantry, Wipe Out Starvation, and Sigma Phi Epsilon. Their goal is to fill a city bus with non-perishable goods.
Yep. Our goal for the food drive of course it's to fill the bus, but realistically we're really aiming for about 600 pounds. I think that would really make a tremendous difference, and it's definitely a feasible goal, I think, that we can reach.
As you heard in the video, their realistic goal was 600 pounds, but they reached 850 pounds as of Wednesday evening. The donation boxes will officially be taken down today at 4 p.m.
On Monday, Purdue alumni and identical twins Dale and Claire Alexander helped as senior propulsion engineers on the Blue Origin rocket launch. Dale and Claire spent tons of time together growing up and sharing similar interests in space before both coming to Purdue to study aeronautical and astronomical engineering. Post-graduation, they worked separately for a while before reuniting in 2023. And now that they are back together, they have collectively contributed to one of Blue Origin's greatest accomplishments, a functional heavy-lift launch vehicle that will someday shuttle the cargo necessary to sustain the human presence on other celestial bodies. What an accomplishment and what a story for the Purdue alumni.
Up next, we hear about why students are loving the new La Fonda station at Wiley Dining Court and what the chef is cooking up next.
And still to come, a closer look into Purdue Theater's current show and why it's a special one for the student director. Fast Track will be right back.
More than 14,000 students have a meal plan each year at Purdue. At Wiley Dining Court, one chef has become popular for putting his own recipes on the menu.
Fast Track contributor Paige Principi has the story.
Wiley Dining Court at Purdue University has always been a student favorite, but it has become even more popular during this school year with the opening of La Fonda. Rudy Ortiz, the executive chef of La Fonda, uses his own home recipes.
They come from my mom's side of the family and my wife's side of the family, which we come from different states of central northern Mexico City.
Not only does Rudy love cooking, but serving it to the students as well.
Once I have the recipe done and put it on a plate, I want to see the faces of the students enjoying the food. It means everything for me because I've been cooking for the longest time.
The staff at Wiley shares the same sentiment.
We have a much larger influx of students now that we have La Fonda set up, and they love it. You can see right now, we're not very busy at all, but La Fonda's line's going strong. We're really fortunate to have a chef with vision that has these recipes and administrative staff that supports it. And then we have all these great cooks. It's just a great situation here at La Fonda.
Not only does Wiley's staff love La Fonda, but so do the students. I love La Fonda. It's one of my favorite stations at any of the dining halls. La Fonda just tries to incorporate a lot of, love into their food and family into their food while also providing for college students. It's just, you can really taste it in their food.
La Fonda's popularity is undeniable, and it surely has a bright future here at Purdue. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Paige Principe.
La Fonda is available to students from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekends, and throughout the week 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
You can learn more about Chef Rudy by scanning the QR code below. Last weekend was the opening of Purdue Theater Department's performance of Gloria by Brandon Jacob Jenkins. The play had a successful first week with a sold-out opening night. The show has been very special, and not just for the cast and the crew, but for the director, Jamie Colasso. Jamie is one of 7 graduate students, acting students at Purdue, who was given the chance to make this his official directing debut with Gloria. Jamie is not only a full-time MFA student, but is also a dad to 3 daughters. We were able to talk to Jamie about his experiences and how he's able to juggle the life of being a dad, student, and director.
It's tricky because my main priority, of course, is my own health and well-being, my mental health, and then that really goes into my family's as well. I just want to make sure that as best as I can, I'm present and available for them. That, along with all of the things that I'm responsible for here at Purdue, is tricky, but I know where my limits are. I'd say as a whole, it's been incredibly rewarding. I never expected that I would be coming to grad school at this stage in my life. I'm 49 right now, so I've gone through quite a lot of life experience, and I've worked in the professional world, but then coming back to academia, I think right now at this point has put me in a space where I can really focus on the things that I always wanted to focus on.
If you missed the first weekend, that's okay. Gloria has more showings this weekend. Tonight through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2:30 p.m. in the Gordon and Carol Mallet Theater in Powell Hall. Tickets are available through the online Purdue box office, and please note that this performance does include dark themes and depictions of gun violence and suicide.
We're seeing warm temperatures, a high of 77 degrees today, but as we see this rain move in this weekend, they're going to cool back down, but I'll let you know when we can expect to see the sunshine again and when we're going to clear out, coming up in my full forecast. If you're just now joining us, welcome and a happy Friday. We're seeing colder temperatures on the tail end of this system, and we're sitting in the 70s today, but with this rain and with these stormy conditions, we're going to cool down. But the good news is the warmer temperatures are ahead. But for today, we're sticking with that warmth. 77 degrees is our high today, which is well above that average of 63 degrees there. And currently, though, 71 degrees is our current temperature, working our way up to that 77-degree high. And the winds are strong today, 21 miles an hour right now, but those gusts could get up to 30 miles an hour. So do keep that in mind as you're going out for class today. Now here's a better look at that cold front that I've talked about, moving its way in tonight as that rain moves in, and then continuing through tomorrow morning. We're going to see temperatures of in the 50s and then even dipping into the 40s at times. And earlier this week, speaking of those cold temperatures, we did see a frost advisory, and I just wanted to point out the good news here is we're hopefully going to see the last of this hopefully in the next month, as we typically see that last average date of frost somewhere between May 1st and May 15th. So summer is coming. We're going to cool down quickly in this weekend. Here's your look at Saturday. Maybe some AM storms, as those storms are mainly happening Friday evening. Those are going to clear out in the early morning hours. Rain persisting, though, throughout the rest of the day. Winds, though, calm down, sticking at around 10 miles an hour. And then we're only going to get up to lower 60s for our highs, so mainly in the mid to lower 50s. And then moving into Sunday, kind of the same story. We're seeing some scattered showers throughout the day, winds sustaining around 10 miles an hour, and highs of only in the lower 60s. And there on in the morning hours, we see that we're going to dip down into the 40s. So if you're getting out for an early class, or if you have plans or anything like that, do make sure to keep that in mind. You might want the heavy coat while it is cold out. And then looking at our futurecast, this is going to be today through Thursday of next week. Friday is going to be, I think, our biggest chance for severe weather and the heaviest amounts of rain. The Storm Prediction Center, as of now, has us in a slight risk of severe weather. And what you might expect from this, isolated thunderstorms. And although we are just in a slight risk, this is going to mean that although we might see these thunderstorms popping up here and there, they are going to be more short-lived. I think the biggest thing we're going to need to worry about is that wind, and then potentially some more flooding as those rivers are already elevated from our last severe weather events. So looking at our 7-day, we see that rain persisting throughout the weekend, bringing us down into the lower 60s for our highs. And then as that rain moves out on Monday, we start to see those temperatures climb back up to 66 degrees there on Tuesday, 70 degrees there on Wednesday, and lots of sunshine. Lows still in the 40s and 50s though, so do keep that in mind in the mornings and evenings. But we're going to have a great week ahead of us next week. Have a great weekend, Boilers.
Just ahead, we cover Braden Smith returning next year, another Rachel Williams being added to the volleyball roster, and a special look at a Grand Prix team. I'm Alex Custer. Don't go away, because sports is next.
Creeping up from the heathens, got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens, got will, got...
Even though we're only months away from the return of Boiler basketball, fans still have a good reason to be happy this week. Purdue superstar Braden Smith confirmed that he would be returning to Purdue next season. During the 24-25 season, Smith was an essential playmaker to the Boilermaker offense, earning himself the Bob Cousy Award for best point guard in the country. In his announcement post on Instagram, Smith said, quote, "Running it back one last time. Let's make this year unforgettable." It seems that Matt Painter is loading up his team to make a run all the way to the national championship this next year. Purdue football held its spring showcase on Saturday afternoon as the first opportunity for fans to see the team in action under new head coach Barry Odom. Odom seemed to be very pleased with the improvement from the start in January to now. He mentioned that the team understands that they're never a finished product and always looking to improve. Odom has been specifically pleased with the offensive line, where Ethan Trent, the brother of Tyler Trent, has played a key role. In a surprise announcement during a Thursday practice, Ethan Trent learned that he was officially placed on scholarship. Purdue now looks to carry its momentum towards summer practices in hopes to be ready for the 2025 season. The Purdue Hurling Club won their second straight national championship in March and celebrated with an Alumni Day last Saturday. After winning in Salt Lake City last year, the team traveled to Denver this season to become back-to-back NCGAA champions. Hurling is a national sport of Ireland and is believed to be at least 3,000 years old. It's often called the fastest game on grass and shares a number of parallels with other sports. The club uses these similarities to attract new members and teach players how to be successful.
It's a lot of fun and a little hard to pick up at first, but once you get it, it's really easy. We often encourage people to draw inspiration from their other sports experiences. I like to say that hurling is the brainchild of lacrosse, field hockey, and rugby, with the different elements and pieces of the puzzle there.
The club will look to three-peat in the next year's tournament and improve in the Gaelic football competition, where they were runner-up this year. Both men's and women's tennis split 2 matches this past week. On the men's team, Henrik Velanger defeated a ranked opponent for the first time in his career, defeating a number 120 Dennis Zardin of Washington. However, Purdue lost overall 4-2. Against Oregon, Alexa Kravakopik defeated a ranked opponent for the 3rd time this year and won the Boilers overall 4-2. In the women's matches, freshman Catherine Wilson won her singles matches both times, improving her overall singles record to 6-4. The Boilers ultimately lost the match against number 25 Wisconsin, however, 4-2. The Boilers bounced back against Minnesota, though, winning 4-2 as well. In that match, senior Tara Katarina Milik recorded her 59th career win in the doubles match, which is good enough for 15th in program history. The women's team will end the season at home this weekend, taking on Northwestern in Illinois, while the men's team will face number 69 Penn State and number 3 Ohio State to end the season. Last week, the Purdue track and field team headed to California for the Brian Clay Multis, and let's just say the Boilermakers showed up with a spectacular performance. Andreas Hanston led Purdue in the decathlon, scoring 7,686 points to win Group B and led all 44 finishers. That total is now 2nd all-time in Purdue history, falling just 22 points short of the school record. Leading with consistency, Hanston won the high jump, placed 2nd in the 1,500-meter dash, and hit 4 PRs. Way to go, Andreas. On the men's side, Logan Sandlin also had a solid performance, finishing 10th in Group A with a new personal best in the 110-meter hurdles. He's now ranked number 5 all-time at Purdue in the heptathlon. For the women, Jalen Elrod placed 6th overall in the heptathlon with a huge performance in the 200 meters, with Angeline Amefia following close behind the 8th setting 5 new personal bests. With so many accomplishments at this invitational, the track and field team proved they are just getting started. Purdue wrestling head coach Tony Ersland announced that following Matt Ramos' graduation in May, he will be joining the coaching staff as a full-time assistant. Ramos finished his career at Purdue with a 115-26 record, ranking 3rd in school history and a 4th place All-American in his last NCAA tournament in March. When talking about Ramos' addition to the staff, Ersland stated, quote, "Matt Ramos brings a recent pedigree of success as a Boilermaker that will translate well to a new generation of talent." The wrestling program is expected to return all starting wrestlers from the past season, including sophomore Joey Blaze, the youngest NCAA finalist in 75 years. Ramos will focus on mentoring the wrestling team and contributing to a culture of academic and athletic success. His training efforts also focus towards competing in the 2028 Summer Olympics. The Purdue volleyball team is welcoming a new freshman to the very different-looking Boilermaker team. Rachel Williams is a 6'3" opposite from Bloomfield, New Jersey. She has amassed over 900 kills and 390 digs during her high school career. She joins a talented incoming freshman class, including setter Isabel Bardine, the number 1 player in Indiana and outside hitter Abby Tyndall, and middle blocker Morgan Williams. The freshman will be joining after one of the best Boilermaker seasons to date with a 27-7 record and a 4th place finish in the league. We are looking forward to watching the volleyball team next season. Purdue baseball hosted Rutgers this past weekend, taking the series 2-1. This was their first Big Ten series since they played Minnesota in the beginning of March. They also snapped an 8-game losing streak after taking the first game of the series. Then, the Sun Devils of Arizona State came to town on Monday, where C.J. Richmond's walk-off home run led them to a victory. They scored all 8 of their runs in the final 5 innings of the game. also overcoming a 4-0 deficit. They start a 3-game series at Penn State tonight at 5:30. Purdue softball also had a win this week, earning a 3-0 victory against IU Indy on Tuesday. This was led by Julia Gossett's 14 strikeout game, a career high. She pitched all 7 innings, giving up no runs on only 3 hits. They start a series against Illinois in West Lafayette starting at 5 tonight. As Grand Prix speeds into action next weekend, we followed a team as they prepare for this year's race. Reporter Jonah Blankenhorn has the story.
This week, Fast Track had the opportunity to attend one of the Grand Prix practices. We were also able to get to know one of the groups, Herrick Labs, racing the number 00. As they finished up practice, the team shared their thoughts on how they think they will perform in the race to come.
I feel pretty good. We have, I think, one of the best, if not the best, drivers. We have old equipment. We have some experience in this race before, but I think we'll do okay.
Anything you can tell us about what modifications you have made to your cart?
We've done, so it's like I said, it's a really old cart, and it was sagging, and we tried to bend it back. I don't know that that's given us much performance, but the modifications are limited by what you can do in Grand Prix.
I think that the team itself is very well prepared. I think we all feel confident in each other's capabilities. I think we're generally less sure on the equipment's capabilities. We're really fighting here to try and get somewhere, make some forward progress here, and we've yet to kind of make any big leaps. So, we got to go back to the drawing board.
The team also talked about some of the challenges that can come up during Grand Prix that fans might not even think about.
I think that fans that show up on race day or qualifying and see the carts running don't realize the 2 weeks of practice that went into it and the months of preparation. Some of these teams actually begin their preparation the year before.
It's difficult for fans to maybe consider the sheer time commitment that every team puts in, each individual puts in into this event, into the prep time, the 2 weeks of practice leading to the actual race. It's a huge time suck, and if you're doing a major on the more difficult side, it's especially difficult to balance the school life, the work life, and also the fun stuff. The main thing is it's a race of keeping your nose clean. It's not having the fastest cart, although that certainly helps. It is much more about the ability to keep your nose out of trouble, avoid carts, be aware of your surroundings, who's around you, what's happening around you, be aware of all the track workers. It's a lot to keep in mind.
Reporting for Fast Track Sports, I'm Jonah Blankenhorn.
We wish the Herrick Labs team and all Grand Prix members good luck as they continue practicing in their final week before the big race. And that's a wrap for sports, but stay tuned. Fast Track will be back right after this quick timeout.
The program allows students to finish their bachelor's degree and also get an online master's degree that overlap during their last year at Purdue.
Students can more quickly work towards a graduate degree while concurrently starting their professional careers.
The online program allows them to kind of go at their own pace, and so they're not having to abide by the academic calendar.
And our goal is that this would make you even more compelling for your next opportunity in the workforce.
Now it's time for our question of the week. With only 3 weeks left in the semester, many students are looking forward to summer and career advancement.
Students may be taking summer classes, starting an internship, or working their first job out of college. We asked Purdue students what their summer plans are.
So I'll be joining the summer semester at Purdue. I have to take only one class, which is advanced business analytics. So I'll be taking that.
For the semester, I'm going to be working on my family in Blackberry Farm, and I'm getting married June 28th actually. So
internship I can't apply for, but I will definitely be starting looking for a job. I'll start my application starting May, and so my plan is to look for jobs in the month of May and June.
Welcome back. We're going to take one last look at that 7-day forecast. Heading into the weekend, as I said, mainly our highest chances of storms are going to be later this evening while a lot of us are asleep, and then maybe in the morning hours of Saturday. But for the rest of the weekend, just sustained showers isolated throughout the area. And then Monday, we're going to finally start to see that rain clear out, leaving us with some sunshine at the beginning of next week and another 70-degree day there on Wednesday. Have a great weekend.
That's it for this edition of Fast Track News. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week with more of your campus news, weather, and sports. Have a great weekend, Boilers.